It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. I'm trying to have, like, really clear thoughts. I'm trying to chase some details. I heard on the AM radio, now it's for tulips, with a hummingbird, by the way. There's 2 hummingbirds, look at that in the garden. It's April, so it's on an AM. I heard on the AM radio at DJ level. They were mentioning something which didn't really make sense at first about, they use these letters ICC, which they said is the International Criminal Court. They said it is somewhere, they said it's in The Hague, which I only know because of the girl with the pearl earring and the Frick collection. That's where the painting is. Otherwise, I have no connection to that area, being that I'm in North America with this, whatever this, I mean, they said it was, it's, I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America. So that's what I refer to it as. And so they have this ICC in these letters, and they said that for some reason the U.S. does not, as of the century 19, the decade 9, the 8th year, which would be for me 1998, the U.S. said they weren't participating according to the radio that was being broadcast in New York, which sometimes they refer to us as the Empire State, sometimes the Big Apple, depending. So, I mean, like, again, it's what I heard on the radio, unofficially, I suppose, or officially. I don't know who's running the state radio here. But then, today, it's like all these little bits and pieces of breadcrumbs, like Hansel and Gretel, like all these little clues, but I'm not saying that they're truthful facts. It is truthful that I saw it and that I heard it and I was standing here. As far as what might be taking place elsewhere, I have no idea. But then this morning I saw on CBS that they said Georgia. Now, I've learned the more that I'm doing this and talking this through with myself on these videos, is there's the United States, the interior state of Georgia, but then there's like a country on the globe, but in a jump over the water kind of a thing called Georgia. So that gets confusing. I don't know, when they said that they're building these nuclear plants, if they're talking over countrymen-wise or statesmen-wise, or if they even messed with the paperwork within the U.S. system, I don't know. ICC, according to the radio, is supposed to have some policing feature that if they feel that some agency or some part of the government is not investigating or policing properly, that there's something built into the ICC that lets them open an investigation. But again, I don't know how that works. At least that's what the radio was stating. The closest thing to, like, a consumer tip I could find. Just like NYPD relies on tips from the public relies on tips from the people that got educations and know things. But that goes back to the reason why that's important is because there's some engineering firm, there's some investment of billions of dollars to open this nuclear like a new nuclear stack, where they're putting the nuclear cumulus clouds into the atmosphere, which the humans use this word greenhouse gas. But I don't know if that green is an infrared green. Because if it's xenon, again, it changes the body chemistry of the lungs. It changes the photon spectrum of the light and how the light bounces in wavelengths for what you see. And it can decrease the ability to even know that you're in danger. Like it cuts off your cognitive function between your hand-eye coordination. It can, anyway. It decreased lung capacity. It could change the barometrics. I mean, all of these things are possible. I just don't know the rest of the chemistry in the whatever, in the environment to know for certain. I just know physically being here what my body's going through in, I only have so many words, and then there's the real life in motion action figure and what I'm experiencing. And then the experience takes over for the lack of the vocabulary that may or may not align with outside forces that keep a very strict rule of whatever. I don't know how to follow those guidelines since I don't know what they are. I don't know the construct of words and science that they built in order to get their power plants and projects and funding and so on and so forth. But all I know is that I like my sunglasses disappeared. I don't know how that even happened. So I've been wearing my regular glasses, but when I go out in the sunlight, it is so. Yesterday, my eyes literally were tearing, as like tears, like as if I was crying, as I was trying to go through and just, I mean, just to open my eyes to look out. That's how high the sunlight content is, or was yesterday on Easter. And it was cold. So, I don't know if the U.S. blocked the ICC somehow. I don't know if that's even possible. I don't know who to ask for help. I don't know who to report to. I don't know how that works. How do you report something in so significant but stay safe on land? Rather than just ignoring the significance completely. I looked at my son. My mother and father at the dinner table tonight didn't even want to hear my conversation of what I discovered today. So they just talked over me. So I had to turn to my son and I said, "You're the only one at the table that may survive long enough that this will be even relevant for you." I was like, "But the gas inside of the headlights is a problem for vision when you're driving on the road, depending on where the high beams are for headlights. The emergency service vehicles has some form of xenon lighting in them that's difficult at night on the road. I hear the FAA pilots talk about it. I heard that on the television today. So there is corroboration, and I'm not the only one that sees the light, and there are some scientists that have come out to say that they're damaging for the eye and for brain coordination. So there is corroboration in backing up or substantiating the experience that I'm currently surviving in. Not well, but it is what it is. But I don't even know where the nearest nuclear facility to here that might be spitting out clouds. But I know that the clouds travel, like when you have a volcanic ash eruption, I've heard in like Iceland it can go miles depending on the wind. So that's a concern. So I don't know how to circumvent or open or do whatever. I mean, again, there are professionals that are trained for this kind of stuff. I just don't know what piece I'm deficient of. I mean, it's affecting my person, my journey. It will affect others. It already is, whether they know how to recognize the symptoms or not. I don't know, greenhouse gas wise, why they would allow xenon to be pumped into the atmosphere to increase the inability for humans to act and perform, like in a cognitive function, like in a higher civilized being manner. I mean, it's just, I don't know. And also tonight I've got this, I don't know why it turned yellow. I don't know if anybody else's does that, but it just came on mid-afternoon. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe. Galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. But they broadcast that the other day on Saturday when we went to Grand Lux, on something called an NPR, which is what they call the short wave radio frequency in the New York area. These used to be significant sounds. Again, I'm not high scientific. I'm more the sci-fi, trying to put together the ecosphere and the echo chamber for myself to give a construct, almost in like a qubit, for somebody to help. I don't know how that process works.